Guitar leads, they are the be all and end all for us guitarists, and we love them until they break. Today we're going to have a look at how to fix these things. It's simpler than you think. So we're just going to have a really quick how to resolder a jack. I'm not a professional solderist, so if you want to learn how to solder properly, please check out some videos before tackling this yourself. All I want to get across is that if you've got a decent quality lead and it's pooed the bed and you need to fix it, you can do it for not much money. The tools are readily available and really cheap, and it's not hard to do. If a monkey like me can do it, so can you. So first things first, we're going to have a look at the tools that you need. To solder, you'll need solder, go figure. You'll need a soldering iron. I've got one of these little temperature controlled ones. I think it cost me $50 from JCar in Australia. You can buy those cheapo $20 Bunnings ones. They work just fine for what you're going to do. Other thing you need is a pair of wire strippers. Don't cheap out and get the crap ones from Bunnings because they are shit and they'll make your life an absolute nightmare. These ones were from JCar as well. They're inexpensive, but obviously one side you've got like the little grooves where you can put different wire gauges through, you flip it around, and you've also got wire cutters on it too. So really handy. Another thing I like to have on hand is just your normal bog standard electrical tape. Get it from Bunnings as well, or get it from JCar if you're there. And then something to hold your jack when you're soldering. I used to use just a little block of timber and had a hole drilled into it where I could put the shaft end of pots, or I could put jacks in it, and it just held it in place so I could solder up. I've got one of these things now. It's like a little helping hand. Got like little alligator clips on the ends of it. It's not focusing, but you get the point. And these are flexible, so you can move them around, hold the thing in place, and it clamps it on. Unnecessary, just use a block of wood if you're going kicking around. Fuck, I've even used like a shoe box or a cereal box and just poke a hole in it, stick the jack into it, and then it holds it in place while you solder. It's all good. Other optional extras, I think this is really handy. If you're desoldering parts, there's this thing called a solder sucker. It's a vacuum. So if you push this down, get the part hot with the soldering iron till the solder melts, stick this onto it, and then click the button, it sucks it up, and then it gets rid of the solder on the bit. You might have to do it once or twice, but it makes the cleanup job a shit ton easier. Last but not least, completely optional, is a multimeter, so you can test the continuity of your parts after you solder them. It's a guitar lead. If you want to test if it works, plug it in. If you've got one of these kicking around, put it on, so then you stick it on and there's continuity to the circuit. It'll make a noise if everything's wired up properly. So it's a little bit quicker. Instead of having to plug your guitar in and plug an amp in and make noises and that sort of stuff, you can just use this to test the components, and happy days, away you go. Step one in diagnosing your guitar problems, if it's crackling or it's not working and that, have a bit of an inspection with your leads. Have a look to see if there's any breaks in it. Oh no, we're right here. No, we're still good here. Well, hopefully I picked up a lead that doesn't work properly. We'll get down to this end, and what do we have here? There's no jack on it, so that doesn't work. Surprise, surprise. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to put this onto this. Okay, so while the soldering iron is heating up, I'm going to get my bits and pieces ready. So we've got the jack, and then we've got the offending guitar lead. So what we're going to do is just cut a bit off the end of here, just so we can start from fresh again. And then on the inside of the leads, it's in two parts. It's not going to pick up on the zoom because I'm using a phone. So you've got an outside shield wire and then an inside wire that's wrapped in a second coat of plastic. So we need to expose both of them. I'm going to do that very carefully so we don't damage anything. Okay, so first up you can see we've got the outside shielded wire that's been exposed. I'm just going to spin that, twist it up just to get it into one nice neat little row. Then using the wire strippers, we're going to find the right size for the wire that's there. Tiny little nubbins off it on the end there. There we go. Obviously this looks very long and we can trim it down, but you know, it's easier working with too much exposed wire than it is trying to manhandle stuff that isn't quite long enough. Now for the jack itself, we want to desolder some of the gunk that's on there already. So that's where the solder sucker is going to come in handy. So we get that ready to go. soldering iron is nice and hot and clean. Then we're going to start with this tab up the top here. Might take you 1 or 2 goes to get it. And then same deal for this bottom part. I like to do this next bit angled down just a little bit, so then if any of the solder does melt and run towards the jack body, it doesn't arc out or it doesn't cause shorts. Alright, that'll do. So then we've got the little screw-in barrel part of the jack. We've got to get that on first, because if you don't put it on first and you solder everything, then you won't be able to get it off, be able to screw it in later on. You have to desolder everything and start again, which is never ever fun. So the next part of this process, we're going to tin the wire, and that basically means we're just going to add a little bit of solder to the bare wires in preparation for us to solder it to the jack. It just makes life a lot easier. It's a lot more sturdy. Heat up the part, little bob of solder, and you're done. Okay. Shit. Spat at me. As we can see now, the copper wires are now silver, which is exactly what we wanted. Last but not least, we are going to solder this jack to the lead. So when you're soldering a jack to a lead, you've got this part down the bottom, which is your negative, and you've got this part at the top, which is your positive. On the actual lead itself, this long bit at the bottom, the exposed wire, is the negative, so that's going to go to this big one. And then you've got the little nub up the top. Is the one that's wrapped in the little plastic conduit, and that is going to go to the positive terminal. That's your positive lead. So I like to just sort of vaguely measure up where it's going to go, like so. Then I'll hold it all in place, and I'll solder on the negative terminal first. And then just be careful because it's kind of hot. Alright, next step, what I like to do is get the positive and get it into the actual hole of where the jack is. There we go. And because we've already got some solder on the lead and on the body of it, makes connecting those two bits very, very easy. That's done. We can also a bit more solder into it as well, just to make sure that the connection is rock solid. And then we are off to the races. This part down the bottom on the jack body, I'm going to spread open with a pair of pliers and reclamp it around the lead itself, so that it doesn't, wiggle around too much. I'll screw it in, and then we will test it. Happy days. Alright, so the lead's all soldered up. Obviously, we've got the braided end on this one, so when it came down, it's a pain in the ass to get back up. So all I've done is just a bit of black electrical tape around this section to stop the braid from moving around too much. But, moment of truth, does it work? So to test your multimeter, like I said before, if we've got continuity in the circuit, which means that the signal is going to pass unbroken through from the negative side to the negative side, then the positive side to the positive side, or ring, or tip or sleeve, we'll hear this noise. Don't know if it picks up on the mic, but it should do because it's beeping its tits off. Sleeve side to sleeve side, that's a win. Tip to tip, that's a win. Any cross circuits, short circuits, no. Excellent. Well, that's how to fix a lead. But But yeah, that was just to illustrate that you don't have to be a pro to fix your own shit. What's a guitar lead worth these days? I think that thing's about $30. We gig out a fair bit. They break, well, not all the time, but enough that you have to spend $30 every couple of months. It starts to become an issue. So learning how to fix your own gear like this, it's easy, it's cheap, it's fulfilling, and you don't have to keep on buying crap, which is awesome. Also, the kicker is if you know how to fix a lead, it means you know how to make a lead. So if you need to make custom length leads, it is piece of piss. Just go to your electrical shop, get some guitar lead, get some cables, solder them up yourself, make patch cables for your pedal board in custom lengths that you need. And that's what I've done with mine, and it's been bulletproof for years. But anyway, if you like this sort of shit, please like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. And I'll see you guys next time.